Hi friends, I'm Stevie. Thanks for joining me for this Misuse Your Desk Chair mini-series. First of all, if you've already listened to this intro spiel about this mini-series with standalone classes, you can go ahead and skip to. But if you'd like to hear the information, let's get into it. So I've had a lot of people ask me for really quick mini classes in a variety of categories or even surrounding postures that they can do using their chair, whether it's a standard chair like this, a dining chair, or a desk chair, and that are quick. So if they do happen to either work from home or work in an office, they might be able to do it on a quick break or during lunch. And yeah, I'm happy to do this. I do spend a lot of time sitting myself. I am lucky enough to work from home, but I spend a lot of time sitting. And it is fun to use your chair in other ways. Now, I'll say there are so many ways to use your chair. And if you look in the prop section of our app, you'll find that I have quite a few chair classes, including like a chair dance and then some really heated chair classes. There's chair classes where we lay on the floor, where we lay over the chair. With this Misuse Your Desk Chair series, I wanted to keep it a little simple for multiple reasons. One is if you do have a desk chair, like a rolling desk chair that you can't lock or something like that, we don't really necessarily want to be doing too much with standing on it or getting crazy and laying over it. And two, if you want to do this in your office, well, then I welcome that. I used to definitely do handstand breaks in my office, although my office was accepting of this. I worked for a health food company at the time, and they were used to my nonsense. But I know that maybe if we are in the office, we don't necessarily want to like lay on the floor a lot and do things like that. So I'll say this is going to be using the idea of like sitting on the chair, standing next to the chair, maybe putting one foot on the chair, and we'll be doing that in a lot, but not necessarily like laying down on the floor and doing wild things like that. So there are plenty more ways to misuse your chair, and you can check out some of our other classes in the prop section to see some expanded version of that. These are beginner friendly, foundation based. We won't necessarily be doing any really complex moves or super deep because it is faster, and some of them are meant to be heating and some of them are softer. That being said, because these are really short classes, the pace itself can seem a little intimidating to those who are new, just the idea of following so many cues, clues and cues. But I will say that because they're so short, I really, really recommend that you come back to them as many times as you'd like. They get more familiar in your body and you're able to kind of roll through and maybe modify or change anything that you know that you personally need. So don't be intimidated by the pace. It's there to help you get through it quickly and to have something really short, fast, sometimes heated that you can do when you've been sitting for a while. Now, as far as props go for all these classes, you'll need a chair. I prefer something that doesn't roll because there is one or two classes where you can put a foot up or even step onto the chair. It doesn't matter if it's padded or not. Maybe you like it padded. You can always have a blanket or towel around to add to that. Depending on your height and the height of the chair, you may want some blocks or books so that sometimes you could put your feet on the blocks or your hands on the blocks, and that is 100% up to you. So I do recommend having some kind of blanket or towel nearby, or even just a sweatshirt, or if you're at work, having some books or blocks that you can pop out and use whenever you'd like. And that goes for all the classes. I'll continue adding to these, and they can be done in any order. There isn't a specific order for these. If we get enough, we might throw them into their own category. But yeah, let me know what other misuse your desk chairs you'd like to see, and let's get moving. Hi again. Welcome to Misuse Your Desk Chair Unfurl. This one is about some spinal extension, some hip extension, and a few different movements of the shoulders. You might think about this as our back bend, but I would suggest instead of deep back bends, think more about a suppleness of the spine and movement in all different directions, plus a little bit of twisting and like shoulder hip work. So, per usual, start with your chair, grab any blocks or blankets that you think you might like, and come to a seat on the chair. Maybe not all the way to the back, somewhat towards the front, and plant your feet firmly on the ground. Again, if you want books or blocks underneath, that can be helpful. Sit up tall. I like my feet a little bit wider, almost as wide as my mat. You don't have to have your chair on a mat. That's perfectly fine. Take your hands behind your head, press your palms into the back of your skull, interlacing your fingers, spread your elbows wide. Spread your elbows a little bit wider, like you're trying to squeeze your shoulder blades onto the back body. Let the pelvis tilt forward. Stick the chest out. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, round your elbows towards each other and then bring them down towards your knees. They don't have to touch, not a big deal. Tuck the tailbone under. Inhale, peel yourself back, open elbows wide, lift the chest, tip the pelvis forward. Exhale, round and curl into a little ball, aiming to bring the elbows to or towards the knees. Inhale, open up, press the skull into the hands, hand to the skull. Exhale, close down. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, unfurl. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, wind down into a little ball. Do a few more of these on your own breath. Really squeezing the shoulder blades together. If that doesn't work for you, think about widening the elbows towards the back of your space. One more wherever you are. Great. Release your hands down by your sides. Grab onto either the base of the chair, depending on your chair, or the back of the chair. Keep the elbows bent, hopefully somewhat behind you. Hug them towards each other. Leave the tailbone long on the chair, but then squeeze the shoulder blades together. So we're thinking a little bit of shoulder extension and some shoulder blade retraction. You can shift the chest forward for a little bit more shoulder extension or walk the hands further behind you onto the back of the chair versus the bottom. But keep the elbows bent and hug them towards each other. Pelvis somewhat neutral. You can bring the chest forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades like you're trying to squeeze a pencil between your shoulder blades here. Pull on the chair with your elbows, and this can help. Pull, pull, pull. Squeeze the elbows towards each other. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Gently press the back of the skull back. Just gently. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Take your arms up, stretch tall. Exhale, twist to the right. Bring your elbows wide like field goal. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist to the left, elbows wide. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist right, sit up tall. Back to center. Twist left, don't worry if the hips move. Back to center. Twist right, back to center. Twist left, back to center. We'll change it up. Twist right, pause. Think about your right elbow. Can you get it further back behind you? And then whatever's happening with your chair, can you drop your right hand to your chair, maybe the back of your chair or the side of your chair or all the way behind, and bring your left hand towards your right knee just to help you twist. Use this pressure on the chair to see what your body wants to do with twisting today. Your gaze can follow the direction of your chest, or if you'd like to look over your right shoulder and that feels interesting, go for it. Release, take your arms up, back to center. Exhale, twist left and pause. Look at your left elbow. Can you send it further back behind you? Then drop it down to the chair. Connect to the chair in some way. Use your right hand to connect to your left leg and assist with the twist. You choose what to do with your gaze. It does not have to look the same as that first side. Release, back to center, arms up one more time, and bring them down to your legs. Widen your legs out so they're approximately as wide as a mat, even if you don't have a mat here, and scoot towards the front of your chair just to give yourself some space. You could play with how to turn your feet in or out and the foot position as we go for this. Fold, so hinge at the hips and pour your upper body down over your lower body. Using your hands on the floor or on your shins, wherever, even on your knees, shift the weight into your feet. Lift your booty. Slowly lift it just a little bit, keeping the connection of the belly to thigh. Keep the legs bent and roll up your spine one vertebrae at a time. Legs still stay pretty bent. Hands behind your head, interlace. Lift the chest just like we did at the beginning. We're going to reverse that motion. Exhale, curl your elbows towards each other. Release your hands. Drip your way down, keeping a bend in the knees to something that resembles a forward fold or ragdoll. Connect the belly to the thigh and then lower your booty. Let's do it again. Keep the connection, belly to thigh. Lift the booty. Roll your way up. Hands behind your head, elbows wide. Take a big inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, elbows towards each other, roll down. Release the hands. Roll all the way down to that ragdoll position. Connect belly to thigh and lower your booty. Lift booty. Roll up. Hands behind your head. Unfurl. Wind down last time. Sit your booty on the chair. Lift your booty. Roll your way up, hands behind your head. Big stretch, lift the chest. Beautiful. Release your arms down by your side. Bring your feet somewhat together, and you decide how far back you want to be from your chair. I'm, 6 to 8 inches in front of my chair. Shift weight into your left leg. Curl your right heel to your sit bone and place the top of your right foot on the chair. And ideally, you're aiming to get your right knee kind of straight down-ish. So if you need to be closer or further from the chair, you can make that happen. Keep a small bend into your left knee. Lengthen your tailbone down. Lift your pubic bone. Squeeze your booty. Looking for just a little stretch in the front of the right hip here. So concentrate on the right side. Squeeze your right booty. You can touch it. Think about pushing your right knee to the floor. And you may feel a stretch already. You may not. Pull the pubic bone up to kind of get that pelvis more in the posterior tilt. And then keep all that. Push the top of your right foot down. Push the top of your right foot down to the chair. It doesn't have to be a ton of sensation. Push, 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 push. And without thinking about it too much, hover your right foot off the chair. Try to keep your right knee pointing straight down. Pull your right foot off the chair. Maybe you can kick yourself in the booty. I can't. Ooh, maybe you get a hamstring cramp. Give a bend in the bottom leg. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2. Pull the pubic bone up. 1. Cross your right foot behind your left. Watch out for the chair. And take the knife edge of the foot to the floor. So we're crossing the right leg behind. Take your arms up. Side bend over towards the left. Maybe you use your left hand to grab your right forearms and get a little bit more of that side body bend. Keep the side bend. Release your left hand to your left hip. So that's the one kind of we're bending towards. Right arm, cactus it and gaze up, maybe arcing the chest towards the sky. Take a big exhale, reach the right arm long by your right ear. Inhale, arc the chest up. Exhale, right arm long by the right ear, more side bend. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, side bend. One more time. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, side bend. Great. Shift the weight more into the left leg. Come back to your standing position. Let's do the other side. Curl the right heel towards the sit bone. Place the top of the left foot down. The left heel towards the sit bone. Place the top of the left foot down. Left knee towards the floor. Small bend in the right knee. Think about the pelvis first. Squeeze left booty. Pull the pubic bone up. Front of the pelvis, very bottom, pull that area up. Lengthen the tailbone down. Think about the left knee shining down towards the floor. Maybe you already feel a stretch here. Don't worry if not. Push the top of the left foot down into the chair, down into the chair. Can you keep the pelvis position? Down into the chair. Push, push, push. Do whatever you want with your hands for balance. Now, keeping the position of your pelvis that you have, hover the left foot off the chair. If it doesn't hover, just think about finding some lightness. Curl the left heel towards the sit bone. Left knee down, pelvis neutral, or even posterior. We're here at 5. 4 is harder for me on this side. 3, 2, 1. Cross the left foot behind the right. Watch out for the chair. Watch out for your inner thighs. Move them out of the way. Arms up and side bend over towards the right. If you'd like, you can use your right hand to grab your left forearm and side bend a little bit more. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Take your right hand to your right hip. That's the side we're bending towards. Think about your top arm, your left arm. Cactus it, gaze up, take a big inhale. Exhale, left arm by the left ear, focus on the side bend. Inhale, hard up. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, hard up. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, hard up. Exhale, side bend. Great. Shift the weight back into your right foot and come back to a stand. Face towards the side of the chair. Face your left side towards the chair first. And place your left knee or shin on the chair so that when you do stand, you're pretty close to said chair with the right foot on the ground. Now, you may be able to grab on to the chair, the back of the chair with your left hand, depending on your chair. If so, go for it. You can always put a blanket underneath your left knee. Tiny, tiny bend into that right knee. Lengthen the tail. Pull the pubic bone up. Squeeze the booty on the right side. Side bend over towards the chair. And again, we'll do that same movement here, just in a slightly more supported position so we can lean a little bit more. Inhale, cactus the right arm, look up. Exhale, side bend, or maybe even reach and around a little bit. Inhale, cactus. Exhale, side bend, reach. Inhale, cactus, hard up. Exhale, side bend, reach. Keep a small bend into the bottom leg. Inhale, cactus. Exhale, side bend, reach. Beautiful. Come out of that position. Move your left foot down, still facing on the side of the chair. Shift the weight into the left leg. left hand on the chair, take the right leg, and take it not only behind you, but maybe slightly over to the side. So we're thinking behind and then over towards the chair, just to give ourselves a little hip extension. As you do that, lengthen the tail, pull the pubic bone up. You might feel more of a stretch through the right side, the right hip. Find that cactus position of the right arm as you bend towards the chair. So just like a little baby wild thing. If you want to floss back and forth between those arm positions, you totally can, or you can just hold it here. Great, come out, switch to the other side. Right side faces the chair, place the right shin or knee on the chair, small bend into that left leg. Find the position of the pelvis first, take your right hand to the chair, and side bend towards the chair. Cactus, left arm, gaze up, chest up, and then exhale, reach in, maybe even round slightly through the upper back. Cactus, gaze up, reach and round. Cactus, gaze up, reach and round. One more time like that. Cactus, gaze up, reach and round. Beautiful. Remove your right leg from the chair. Place it down close to the chair. Pick up your left leg, step it back, and then cross it behind you slightly. We're thinking like a mini wild thing. Lean into that right hand, and then cactus that left elbow. Again, you can floss back and forth between arm positions or just hold. Great. Release. Step your feet together. Face the chair. Place your right foot on the chair so that it's about a 90-degree angle, and your left leg is underneath you. So your left leg is underneath your left hip. Put a small bend into the left leg, lengthen your tail. You see that position change? Lengthen the tail, lift the pubic bone, squeeze the left booty. Touch it. Is it squeezing? Small bend in that knee. Now, keep everything the same downstairs. This nice setup position, really squeezing this booty. Start to lean yourself back until you feel a stretch sensation in the front of that left hip. That's all we're doing. If you'd like, you can reach your hands forward, whether or not you do the interlace, like the little Kali Mudra grip, or you do something else. But what's really important here is the position of the pelvis, because we're trying to get a stretch to the front of that left hip. So adjust yourself as needed to feel that. Maybe that means you need to send your left leg back, and that's more hip extension, but focus on booty squeeze, pubic bone up. I also think about pushing my right foot firmly into the chair and almost dragging it back while I send my left hip forward. Doesn't really matter if you're curling or arching through your top body. We're focused on the hip here. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back up and switch it to the other side. Don't assume that your hips are the same, but you can start with the same distance if you'd like. Set yourself up for success first. Bend your knee. That gives your pelvis space. Lengthen your tailbone down. Pull your pubic bone up and squeeze the shit out of your booty, right? Is it squeezing? Push your left foot into the chair. Drag it back. Right hip forward. Start to lean back, but only so much that you can still keep that position of the pelvis. The weight of the upper body is going to help us give a little bit of load to this stretch. Now, so I don't fall backwards, I like to think about reaching my arms forward. You could even put a strap around the chair, right? And pull on the chair for a little extra nonsense. In fact, I just have to do that right now because that sounds really fun. And I just thought of that at this moment. So pardon me, I know not everyone has a chair that they can do something silly like this with, and we'll see if it actually works. But hey, talk about new discoveries together. Oh, it kind of does. It kind of forces you to really push down through this foot. I'm going to send it further forward. Okay, like this is really nice. And you also get a little bit of pulling action. Yeah. I like it. I like it. So squeeze the booty. Think about pelvic positioning. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. Release. Okay, last thing that we're going to do, we told you they're short, but hopefully you're a little bit warm, is a thoracic hang, which some of you have done before. You could put a blanket or towel on the edge of your chair, especially if it's sharp. This one's not sharp. You're aiming to put the chair, at least as a starting place, kind of at the bottom of your shoulder blades, is to help us find a little bit of space in that mid-spine, which can be tight for a lot of people. There are sand and leaves all over my house because we go to the beach park every day. Place that area at the back of the chair. Wiggle, waddle your feet forward. Now, as you lay over it, this is a great place to be. I like to think about that pelvic position, lengthen the tail, pull the pubic bone up, even if that feels like less of a back bend, because I'm trying to get the bend where the chair is, right? I know my low back can bend. I'm not trying to do that. I can add load by walking my feet forward or even straightening them. And then you can relax your head onto the chair, depending on your chair. You can add a shoulder stretch here by taking your hands to the back of the chair or wiggling them down. If you're like, I don't need a shoulder stretch or I want some extension, you could take your shoulders down and grab onto your mat if that's available, or even the back of the chair and hug there. So there's just so many things you can do here. I also encourage that you kind of move up and down an inch or two because people have different sticky spots. This chair is not super huge. If I had a bigger folding chair, I might be able to like lay my head all the way down comfortably. This feels kind of squishy for me. But I like to get kind of an overhead stretch. This is a great one I do if I'm going to do hollow backs or any kind of forearm stand really. And I think about hugging my elbows in, squeezing the chair, and then kind of dropping my hips. But even so, as I drop my hips, I'm not really thinking about like flaring my booty out. I'm thinking about booty long to the floor while I lengthen my tailbone. And that's just so that I could focus this bend and sensation up higher on the thoracic. So we're just here for a few minutes to finish off this unfurl session. You can play with it. You can come out and take a break for a minute or two. But that's all we have for today. I told you these would be quick and sweet, but hopefully this will provide a nice way to unfurl a bit, whether or not you sit in the car or a desk, at work, even on the couch. How can we use this seated position to help us find a little bit more suppleness in the spine? So you're welcome to hang with thoracic hang for as long as you'd like. Join me for another one of these mini Misuse Your Desk series. Misuse your desk chair, not your desk. That'd be a little scandalous. And if you'd like to see anything particular, hit me up, let me know. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.